Mythic Plus has always had this issue of being too good. Everyone gets incentivized to just do Mythic Plus, and some people don't like being in the timer all the time. But with the new Season 4, they actually had managed to fix this by making non-Mythic Plus runs, like Heroic and Mythic Zero, actually pretty profitable, pretty good. Making, the experience of just going to a dungeon with your friends an experience that you can still have in World of Warcraft. Let's talk about it. Subscribe channel for more content of this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support me, and let's get into it. So, what is the big change that happened in the new season? The big change was that before, back in the day, we would have keystones going from 1 to more or less 20. You would get different types of gear from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and 15 to 20, and a bit further afterwards, right? So the levels were pretty big, and doing Mythic Zero was honestly just a thing you would do once at the start of the expansion. Well, not start of expansion, at the start of the season, and not at all anymore. And honestly, you might even skip that and just go for +2s, +3s, as they were easy enough to do with very basic open world build and gear. But now, because they essentially squished everything up, now a 20 is now a 10, 15 is now keystone level 5, 10 is now a 0 more or less, things, or a 1 or 2, things have gotten way harder in terms of levels, but also way more rewarding, right? Whenever you do a heroic now, you're getting veteran gear, which is actually pretty nice. Whenever you're doing town walking, same thing. It's a very chill thing to do. Whenever you're doing a 0, you're getting champion gear, which is insane, right? And you're getting good worms, right? And whenever you do +2 to +6, you're getting more champion gear and more worms crest as well. And then when you're getting from 7 to 10, you're getting hero gear and a myth, what's the word? Myth track for the mythic vault. And of course, also, insanely, an ascent crest as well, right? Which is very, very good. And this means that now we can have the experience of Mythic Plus, of me going around to get to the, plus the keystone and going super fast and everything in, from +2 to plus whatever. And you can also have your experience of just sitting down with people, learning a boss, going against the boss over and over again on 0, which is honestly still pretty hard, pretty challenging if you don't have the gear, specifically at the start of the season, and have that experience, no issues. And even if you want to do it later, you can just do it with your friends. Help them get a bit of a gear, on their ults, or you can gear yourself up with your ult on a Mythic Zero. It gives you a lot of gear, as every one of the bosses will give you gear instead of just one at the end of the whole dungeon. So it's a very cool experience in that regard, and you can just take your time. You can say, okay, we're dying to this boss in this particular situation. How do we do it? Do we burst here? Do we burst there? Do we move there? What can we do to beat this boss, even if we don't have the actual gear that we require? And that experience, and it's an experience that I've gotten the first day of the season, and honestly, not anymore, because I have enough gear now to do those zeros pretty fast. But it is something that we have definitely missed from World of Warcraft. Now, is it too hard? I actually don't think so. I actually made a bit of a Reddit post about this. Oh, this is on my other Reddit, but I made a Reddit post asking people what they thought, and everyone was pretty positive about it. Actually, I thought it was actually pretty nice. Everyone was like, oh, it's been pretty nice to scale from 0 to 10. 0 was pretty nice to just take your time. +2s are pretty easy. They feel like a +11, right? That used to be super easy back in the day. In the other seasons, +7s feel like a 17 from last time as well, right? So you have like this very cool, what's the word? You don't have to scale up so much, because back in the day, no one would do from 0 to 10, right? You can pretty easily understand what the type of difficulty you're gonna get from just checking the number, right? With no issues, and still have different types of experiences, which I think is very, very, very cool. And you can even do heroics. I mean, do you guys remember back in the day when you would just do daily heroic for a bit of gear and a bit of gold or whatever? Now you probably can do that, as it will give you a good amount of gear. You can do this on your ults as well to start getting them up very, chilly, very in a chill way. And I think that's super, super cool. And it really seems like they have figured out the way to making dungeons in WoW good for everyone, right? For the people that really want to just have a chill time, and for the people who want to just completely blast and be super, super fast, right? We'll see how it develops. We'll see how this ends up working, and if things become too easy or too hard. But it really seems like the difficulty, you know, is pretty nice right now. And there's some dungeons, I think, that are maybe a bit too difficult. Some bosses that are maybe a bit too difficult. But I really wasn't really having any problems on the first week clearing, you know. Definitely I was just blasting on +2s and whatever, and the +7s and +6 and +8s, they have been pretty chill as well, as long as you have, you know, people that know what they're doing. And even though I don't have even one piece of tier set and I'm only 496, I am competing with people that are around that level anyways, which I think is very, very cool and makes it so and most people are gonna have some fun. So I definitely think this is a very good season for people to get into WoW, prepare for the next expansion, and, you know, check in which classes they're gonna play, and you see if they actually like the game anyways, right? As even though the expansion is gonna be very fun and is gonna be pretty cool, I don't think, you know, the experience is probably gonna be more or less the same. It does seem like WoW is moving to this seasonal type of game in terms of gear and what's the word? And no, in the permanence that the game actually has is from just having cosmetics and stuff like this, which is not inherently a bad thing, but it definitely seems like if you don't like that, you're probably not gonna have, you're gonna have to play something like Classic instead. And I kind of actually want to make a video about how I think that is actually happening to WoW, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but I definitely think that some people are not gonna like it, and it's a change that, you know, has been happening for a few years and probably will continue happening. But I guess that's another topic for another video. At this point, I'm just rambling. I said what I said. I think Mythic right now, difficulty is pretty nice in terms of dungeons, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I'm pretty happy as well that there's different types of routes to gear up regardless. You know, open world, it's a pretty nice thing to do. But if you don't want that, you can still go for something like just doing dungeons over and over again, from Heroic to actually Mythic 10, which is pretty cool. And also, you know what? I never liked the fact that, you know, you would get to like +20s. Like, that's a bit, maybe a bit too much of a bigger number, right? Maybe we should just chill out with +10. That sounds pretty big, right? +20 is a bit out of the scope of what makes sense, I think. But tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you agree. Tell me if you have not have this experience in your playthrough. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely go to my Twitch to watch me live, so we can talk about stuff, MMOs, Guild Wars 2, WoW, anything. Ko-Fi if you want to support me. And, well, I guess that's it. On my Discord as well, you want to hang out off stream. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.